This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brookes Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brookes Blooms' three-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.
G'day everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Ads and Dunks podcast. As always, brought to you by the Ausamerican Aces. It's Dunks here, one of your hosts, and joining me as always on the line down in freezing cold Melbourne, my best mate, Adzi Treloar. How are you going, mate?
Going good, mate. It is freezing cold here. I know you were saying before that it's actually getting cold up there in Brisbane as well, isn't it?
It is. Overnight now, it is getting very, very cold, but I think I've gone a bit soft because I used to live in Melbourne and it used to be a lot colder at night, but definitely acclimatized to the weather up here. So, yeah, it's like 10 degrees overnight and it just feels so cold.
Well, you were just in Melbourne, weren't you?
I was. I went down the farm, which was cool. Got to see mum and dad. I haven't seen a lot of the parents over the last sort of 6 months, so haven't actually been home to the farm for 6 months. So it was nice to get back there and chill out and, you know, just do a few things for the old man as he's laid up with back surgery and whatnot. And, yeah, it was just good to spend time with family, mate.
No doubt, mate. Did you jump on the motorbikes or anything, go riding in the paddocks like you normally would when you and I used to go down together? You used to make me jump on the back of the two-wheelers and I'll be holding on for dear life and you'll be taking off.
Yeah, we didn't actually ride the motorbikes, but I didn't get many laughs like I did when I watched you ride the motorbike, mate. It's well, not just ride the motorbike, actually, just see you on the farm. So it wasn't that funny this time.
Are my boots still there?
Yep, I saw them, actually. I saw them and I'm like, it made me think, I was like, when is he actually going to use these? I might as well just take him back to Brisbane.
No. We'll go to the farm together when the off-season time and you're down here in Melbourne. Kimmy and Georgie Kim loves the farm, which means Georgie's going to be exactly like her mum. So we'll get Georgie down there, we'll get her a set of boots and I'll teach her how to ride the quad bikes.
Sounds good. I'd be rapt to do that, mate. That'd be one of the best holidays I've had.
Yeah, we do. We actually do need to go on a holiday together. You, me, Tipper, Kim and Georgie. That'd be nice. Where do you reckon we should go?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe we've talked about Fiji before, haven't we?
We have. What would your favourite holiday destination be for the four of us? I'm not saying just you and Tipsy. I'm saying the four of us.
Yeah, somewhere like Fiji, I think, is really good. You know, not saying we'd hang out with Georgie, but you can put Georgie in the baby club or whatever you call it, the creche, and we can enjoy a few quiet beverages by the pool or something, mate. It'd be beautiful.
The pina coladas, the highest calorie,
pina coladas,
the highest calorie alcoholic drink, I believe. Brado will be able to tell us.
Trust you to know that.
Yes, of course I know that. And there's coconut milk in it, which makes it real high calorie, but that would be fun. What about going over the States? I mean, we can really leave the girls hanging them out to dry because they probably wouldn't want to go there, but we could just go to every single sporting event there is.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Probably the best trip you could do, but I'm not sure the girls would like that, mate. They'd probably hate it, to be honest.
They would. And we all know, could only imagine the arguments, especially from that time, which always rings in my head when I would have been 3 or 4 episodes ago when you were talking about Tipsy not vacuuming when you got home. So I could only imagine the arguments there would be. But did you watch much of the footy on the weekend?
Yeah, I watched your game. I watched, because Saturday I went to the races up here, which is another story we can talk about later. Sunday, watched the girls play netball, which was a great result. And then I came home. I actually watched a bit of the Gold Coast Essendon game, which was quite good to watch on TV. Yeah.
Yes, that was a great game. Because you were – so how did your week work for you then, just for the ones that – probably the ones that are interested? You had the first 4 days off, didn't you? And then you came back and trained? Yeah.
So we had from Sunday after the game until Thursday night we had to be back in Brisbane, and then Friday we trained main session, and then we had Saturday off, and then Sunday we had a main session as well in the morning. So, and then Monday, Tuesday's just been normal kind of week. So half day Monday and Tuesday's a full day. So big day today ahead of our game on Friday night, mate. But it was a good good weekend and good prep for what we've been. We looked at a few things. We did a bit of a mid-season review in terms of how we've been going, and looked at a few indicators that we like to look at throughout last year as well and this year. And yeah, it was quite not surprising, because I think we know we're not obviously playing our best footy, but a lot of it comes down to our accuracy going inside 50, not inside 50, sorry, on the scoreboard. So our shots a goal, we're 1 or 2 in the comp for shots a goal. So a lot of positives that we can take into the back half of the season that'll hold us in good stead against sides like yourself and the ones on the upper end of the ladder.
Yeah, that is a good one. That was my next question. Did you have any comparisons to, I guess, this time last year? I know coaches tend to not look really, they don't really look back because it's a whole new year. But did you have many comparisons or, examples of maybe how we can get back to being, playing Brisbane brand?
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that. We put a lot of numbers up and compared it to where we were last year, and if we weren't the same, we were better in majority of those indicators. So except obviously the accuracy one, which I mentioned. So, that's probably the thing that's hurting us, because as you know, in games of footy, if you have a scoring opportunity and you miss, and then the other team goes up the other end, it's a 12-point play. You lose that 12-point, you lose that margin almost. So they're the opportunities we're looking to take. And as I said, though, we are doing a lot of things right. So hopefully that can hold us in good stead in the back half of the year.
Yeah, you must be feeling refreshed, though, physically now, more so for you and all the other boys. I mean, I know you've had 2 buys, but every time that I've played and I've gotten to the bye and had the week off, I've always felt a lot refreshed and probably more mentally motivated the second half, going into the second half of the season. Is that how you're feeling?
Absolutely, yeah. I remember running around on Sunday. Friday was a little bit different because I hadn't actually trained because I had an ankle jab on Monday, so hadn't ran since the game. So Friday probably just eased into it a little bit. But then Sunday in our main session at the Gabba, I felt amazing, a week off, and you just all of a sudden your body, no knocks, whatnot. Yeah. And then today we had our main session as well. So yeah, feeling really good ahead of hopefully what is a good back half of the year for us.
Yeah, well, hopefully that back half of the year can start next week, not this week, because we obviously want to win the game. I guess for what it's worth as well, must mention Huey McGluggage re-signing today, which must be massive for you, but for the team as well.
Yeah, it's huge. Huey's obviously been weighing up what he's going to do, and as all players do, everyone goes through that process that you do in life. You got to make contract decisions with your job and whatnot. So it's great that Huey sticks around with us. He's such a great person, mate, to have around the club. Obviously, we all know the player that he is on the field, special player, and brings a lot of different traits to our team that makes us, really good. So it's an absolute pleasure to have him around, and knowing that he's going to be there for a long period of time is just amazing. I think our fans should take a lot of confidence out of the fact that he's going to be there and he's going to be leading us forward. So it's great reward, obviously, for the work that he's put in, but sensational bloke, so love it.
Well said, mate. Well said. I have run into a couple of times as well when I've been up there just on holiday, and he's always stopped and spoken and, just been a lovely person towards me. So I couldn't agree more with you. Anything else you want to touch on before we get into my game, I guess?
No, mate, let's crack in. We might as well jump into Friday night, which was obviously a great display for you boys.
Oh, it was, mate. It didn't start well. It started very ominous against us. They, dominated around the ball. I think that was probably the thing that hurt us the most. They dominated at centre bounce, and I don't think you have to be a partial fan to even know that. Even if you were just a first time watching, you would have been like, wow, they're killing them out of the middle. Mainly Nick Dacos, who, again, just blows my mind away about how good he is. But, yeah, I think the biggest thing I take out of it is the fact that, we've been in situations in games throughout the year and even last year before that where, we haven't been able to get back momentum and win the game, or we've gotten ourselves back into the game and then we haven't actually ultimately won. Even last week against Sydney was a great example of that, where we actually got real close but weren't able to win. I think that was probably the most pleasing thing in this game, that we were able to get back, to a close enough score, then hit the lead, and then they had another run, and then we then hit the lead again, and then able to really finish off strongly, and felt like we were running on top of the ground, and people talk about, externally talk about how good Bont was, and he was. It was the best game I reckon he's played all season, and he really put us on his back and really led us from the front. But at the same time, I really felt like guys really stood up who, it wasn't just wholeheartedly Bonty taking us, to the win, which he had a massive part in it. But we had guys like, obviously, Sam Darcy's one. We had guys like Riley Garcia go inside. Riley Sanders, I think, had 11 or 12 tackles throughout the night. We had Bailey Dale, who was distributing the ball, with his feet from the back half really well. So we had guys, really step up to the plate as well and help us get the win. So for me, that was probably the most pleasing thing. And I feel like the footy we've played over the last 4 weeks, ever since really the game against Hawthorn where, we probably let ourselves down a bit. But in saying that, you and I have spoken. Hawthorn, in our opinion, are one of the teams, informed teams of the comp. A very, very, very good team. So, no disrespect there. They're a very good team. But yeah, after that game, I felt like the last, 4 weeks has been really good for us, and we've built some really good momentum.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. I mean, the first 15 minutes of the first quarter, as you touched on, was all Collingwood, but to be able to turn it around like you did, you touched on the main players in there, and obviously yourself led from the front again. All Australian form, in my opinion, mate, should be definitely considered at the moment. But you must be so, I don't know, like you're building so much confidence. Your last month, we've obviously got you this week, so we've looked at you guys a fair bit, and the last month that you've played, you talk about Hawthorn being one of the best teams in the comp. Like you guys are really, really going well at the moment. Are you feeling that down at the club?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm definitely feeling that. I feel like, it's great when you walk in and, you've been around long enough, Joshy, to know when things aren't going well. Sometimes you walk in and you kind of just don't know what you're going to get when you go out there on the playing field and play, which isn't the best way to think or feel. And not that I was thinking that early on this season. There was just times in games where, there were doubts, where the last 4 weeks, as you've said, we've, really stripped it back, going into that Richmond game, went back to the basics and really focused in on our strengths and how we want to play, and knowing that if we do play to our strengths, we're going to be a hard team to beat. And, we have. And as I said, we didn't ultimately beat Sydney, but we took a lot out of that going into this game. And, we rate Collingwood extremely highly. I definitely think they're one of the 2 best teams in the comp with Sydney. I know they've got quite a few injuries as well, which clearly hurt them as well, but they're an incredibly good side, and the fact that we were able to play so well against them just gives us great momentum. And as I touched on, I don't want to repeat what I said, but the fact that we've got guys who are playing well across the field, it isn't just one bloke who's getting us over the line every single week. That's just the most pleasing thing from it. And hopefully they get through training tomorrow and it's all go for them. But we get guys like Eddie and Tommy Liberatore back as well. Obviously Naughty's hopefully going to come back soon. We just got some really good momentum going forward. We've got some great players due to come in, but players who are playing as well at the same time, really playing well. So yeah, it's been nice. It's good to go into the footy club. It's boys love being around each other. Whether we win or lose, it's the same. But boys love being around each other. There's an extra motivation, because we know what we can produce.
Yeah, the even contribution is what the best teams do so well and get every week. So obviously you guys are going well at the moment, and that's what's happening. So you're getting a lot of guys chipping in, which is how you want to play. I've got a bit of a funny one here. Someone sent this to me on Instagram. Yep. I'll give him a shout out. His name's Rylan Crosser. He sent me the doggies post of you and Bonty doing a little embrace at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
And he said you better watch out for Bont stealing your man Adsy. So you sort him out.
Joshy, mate, you'll always be my best mate. You'll always be my best mate. But it is a privilege to play with Bonty. So
no, but it's just funny the things that slide across your desk, mate, when you're when you're up and about. And yeah, it's good. It's good to see. I mean, I'm really happy for you. You obviously yourself work so hard, and you're just getting the reward at the moment, which is great, and makes me happy too, mate, to see you guys doing well. And obviously I don't want you to do too well this Friday night, but look forward to getting out there and having a wrestle with you.
I can't wait, mate. And for what it's worth, I've seen you and Lockie Neal hug each other quite a few times really closely as well. So if we're going to have a crack at each other, there's my little one. But no, you are right, mate. I'm thoroughly enjoying playing, and that's been the go all year for me, just trying to enjoy footy as much as I can and not take it too seriously, which is hard for me because, you know the personal conversations that we have after games where we don't overly go well and I'm flat as a tack. But at the same time, I'm just really trying to enjoy footy. So the fact that I can and I love going into the footy club with the guys, the only thing that's missing is not running out there with you. But other than that, it's been a great year and I'm loving it. I'm not taking anything for granted.
I do feel like, and I haven't actually spoken to you about this, but you have taken that approach this year. Like and not saying that you haven't in the past, but I feel like this year especially, like when when I'm talking to you, you're always positive, you're always happy, you're always up and about, trying to enjoy yourself as much as you can with not just footy, but life in general. Like, is that something that you maybe reflected on last year or is in the past and you've just decided this year I'm just going to be this kind of person? Is that something that you've done?
100%, mate. 100%.
Yeah.
Because I've always tried to be positive. Like, I am a positive person and a happy person and, people bring out the best in me, but sometimes I do battle and have my struggles. And for someone like me who you well and truly know, you know me better than anybody, but I wear my heart on my sleeve. And when I'm flat, I'm flat by the way that I am. When I'm happy, you know that I'm happy. And yeah, it's been something that I've tried to focus on more so just with my footy. It's just been, I don't want to, I'm 31, like, there's times where I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking, far out, I'm 31, like I've been playing for 14 years, like this ain't going to last forever. I physically still feel good. I feel like I can still contribute. Enjoy yourself. Like, whether you're winning or losing, just go out there and enjoy yourself. Like, don't take it too seriously. And that's always the advice I try and give younger guys coming through. Like a great advice that I try and give Riley Sanders, who, he just reminds me of me as an 18-year-old, someone who's just so super serious, in a good way. Like, he's so motivated and driven and obsessed about being great. And he will be great. It will make him great. But at the same time, when shit hits the fan, you just don't, it could be, you don't know. It could be, the weight of the world's on my shoulders, like footy's everything, where it's not that for me anymore. I love footy, but like, it's not my everything. And yeah, I feel like it's been reflective in how I approach my footy every day and how I approach training. And, you know what I used to be like with, my training and, training on my off days and doing extra conditioning and all this stuff. Like, I barely do any of that. And it's purely because I'm just, like, why am I doing that? Like, there's no point doing that. I need to feel good for games, get my body right and feel good. So, yeah, you are right. You're spot on. It's something that I've definitely consciously taken into the games.
Speaking of talking to Sando and trying to pass that feedback down, did anyone do that for you when you were younger?
Yeah, 100%. There's one guy that always tried to tell me and I always shunned him. And he actually messaged me after the game on Friday and said he loves watching me play. Luke Power. So Luke Power, who's a Brisbane great, mate, for what it's worth. He was one of my first coaches, so at AFL level, and one of the greatest human beings you'll ever meet. I love him dearly. I love the time. I love the fact that he spent so much time with me in my first couple of years. He's someone who really helped shape me in becoming the footballer that I wanted to be. Had an enormous impact in my career. And, I probably don't tell him enough. So hopefully he's listening to this, or I might send him. I'll get Brado to clip it up and send it to him. But I remember he used to always tell me, because I'd always be, the last one at the club, always. And I'd be standing in the touch area just doing pointless touch, mate, that just lead to nothing. Like, I'm standing there just throwing the ball, catching it, like thinking in my head, this is going to help me be better. And I just remember he used to always tell me, like, trust me, Adam, you're going to get to an age, about 28, 29, where you just say to yourself, like, what were you doing when you were a kid? Like, you want to do your stuff and go out and go home and be with your friends and family and just enjoy life outside of footy. And I would always say, no, I won't. No way. Like, I'll always be like this. I'll always be first one in, last to leave, first one in, last to leave. Mate, it's the opposite now. Like, I'm not the last one in, but I get in when I have to get in. I do all my stuff and I do it as hard as I can and I don't miss anything. And then I go. As soon as it hits 4 o'clock and we've got to get out of there, I'm out the door. So, yeah, Lukey did that for me.
It's a bit of a lesson because it does take a lot of time, I feel, as a player to find what's right for you. Like you listen to everyone else's, and we've talked about this in the past, like you listen to everyone else and what they do and whatnot, but you've got to find what's right for you. And the sooner you can do that as a player and obviously start to the form of your game has to obviously back that up. But
yes,
you want that to make it as simple as possible, that's your routine or that's what you do. That's what you want to tick off. That'll help you play well. It gives you the confidence to play well on the weekend and consistent footy. So it's a great lesson.
Have you found it is a great lesson? I mean, you're 4 years younger than me. So have you found like you reckon you've changed from when you first were 18, 19, 20 to now? Or do you reckon you've been pretty good for the last few years?
Yeah, definitely. I remember, going into first getting drafted and, like you don't do anything. You make sure everything's by the book. Like you're thinking about X, Y, Z, all these little factors, even things you can't control. You're thinking about as a young player and all that kind of stuff. Now I don't even bother. It doesn't bother me. It never crosses my mind. Almost like it's if I start to trend in that direction, I'm like I check myself and I'm like, what am I doing? I shouldn't be thinking about that. Like, so those little lessons are like. Yeah, things that you pick up along the way. But I'm definitely different, as you said you are, like compared to when you got drafted and were coming through the system. You take a lot from, and you learn a lot from guys like yourself and got senior players that you've played with and against over the journey too. So I love seeing all these new things that come out. But at the same time, as I said, you just got to find what's right for you and what gives you confidence on the weekend.
I couldn't agree more. I think for what it's worth, one more thing as well. I feel like, and I know you would have been in this boat, and I don't know where you're at now, and I obviously probably know the answer, but I think something that I've, over the last couple of years in particular, but well and truly even last year and this year, like constantly comparing myself to other players is what I used to always do when I was young. And, that in hindsight, thinking back, that was a massive detriment because I would compare myself and I would always look at the stuff that I'm not good at or I'm not good enough and want to get better in that regard, but it'd weigh me down. And when I'd stuff up, I'd just get so mad and angry at myself. Where now, and I'm not saying this is just this year, it's been clearly the last probably ever since I came to the Bulldogs, but in particular the last couple of years, it's just been something that I just do not give a shit about, like one bit. I no care about being compared to anyone or worrying about what other players are doing because I know my strengths are good enough for me and I know that helps the team. So that's all I care about, where I used to just care so much. I used to care about what other players were doing versus what I was doing, and it's just something I don't care about anymore. So I feel like that's helped me a lot as well.
Yep, it's a great point. You are who you are and the way you play footy is your brand. So that's what you bring to the AFL world, and there's no point trying to compare yourself because you got to bring your own thing.
Simple. I couldn't agree more. And for those listening, I hope you really enjoyed that little 10-minute inside our minds chat kind of, because it is a great point to the young aspiring athletes out there who, like, I could only imagine the 15, 16, 17-year-olds, boys and girls who are aspiring, who want to make it, that probably in the same boat that we were or I was at that age, just constantly, obsessing about stuff and realizing that, once you can start to think outside of yourself in a way, you'll find that you'll probably have more success. So hopefully this little chat helped. But anyway, before we get into our games and the previewing, we'll talk about the round itself because I probably know you've probably got a couple talking points. If not, we'll just go through the games.
Oh, mate, the only talking point I've got from the games is the tackling stuff. How did you think it was on the weekend? Because obviously the new interpretation of the holding the ball rule and there was the one in your game, the Dacos one that probably should have been paid. Everyone said it should have been paid. But how did you find it? Was it different playing with that kind of rule?
Yes. So, yes, it was different. And I actually really liked it because I knew, it's a good question. Like, I feel like once you play this round and then start to play, you'll enjoy it a lot more because you know what to expect. And I feel like it was really consistent other than the Dacos tackle. Clearly that was the one they got wrong. But other than that, it was really consistent. And I feel like even watching the games, when a player grabbed the ball and it got like when it was called holding the ball. Like I kind of knew that was going to happen when previously, like it's just been super inconsistent and players have been getting too much time and whatever it may be. So you just don't know what's going to happen. Where being out there, I felt like it was really clear and really consistent and I knew what to expect. So I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. And I hope that's now the benchmark or the norm, I guess, and that's how it's going to be adjudicated every round. And got to understand, as we've said, umpires, it is a tough job. So the Dacos example, they're not going to get it 100% right, but I think 95% of the time they got it well. They got it right, and it was really good.
It does. Everyone's talks about quickening up the game. I feel like it does make it quite an open game. Definitely. Because the ball's always live. If you're taking the tackler on, then you've got to get it out. You can't just hold it in. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes because obviously I feel like I tackle a lot in the contests and whatnot. So hopefully get some good looks inside there.
Yeah, well, I think it also helps because you know how sometimes when say it's one of those tackles where it's like spin 360 around, but the issues that we'd had, well, the tackles that we had issues with where they're doing the 360 spin and then they're still not calling anything. And you as one of the peripheral players, you don't know whether to, say you're on the receiving team, be an offensive option or on the defensive team, be defensive layer, whatever it may be. And I feel like, now you kind of know, and as soon as you say my teammate gets it, and I know he has a little bit of time and gets tackled, I know it's probably going to be holding the ball. So I don't have that and ahhing of before they were doing these calls, I would be trying to get myself into an offensive position where now I know. So I'll just be like, okay, I got to fold back, got to get back defensively, if you know what I mean. So I feel like it has, from the round itself, it helped. And watching the game on, what was the first game? Was it Thursday night? Yeah, Port Carlton. Yeah, I feel like because I watched that game closely, I felt like, I knew what to expect going into our game. And I was definitely a big fan. And I like to think that, from a fan perspective watching the game, that they probably liked it a little bit more as well.
Yep, definitely. I think it's a great change up for the umpires, and hopefully we just continue to get better with those things. So, love it. Moving on to the round of footy. Do you want to talk about the first game? You just sort of touched on it briefly.
Yeah, it was it was my guy that I want to give love to is in this game, so I'm not going to mention him. Plays for Carlton. I feel like he's severely underrated. Oh,
just go do it now. Yeah.
I feel like you're probably going to say, I'm going to say Alex Chincotta.
Oh, nah, different.
Okay. Well, he's my guy, and I've got a reason being. You know what? I may as well say it now. I'm just going to say it.
Do it now.
I will. So he's my guy that I'm going to give love to this round, and there was a lot of players. That I could have given love to. But the reason being is his defensive stuff, I feel like's elite, really elite. He's had some shutdown roles on some really important forwards. And on the weekend, I'm not sure if you watched closely, but in that last quarter, he went to Butters. He played on Butters. And, Butters had the first couple clearances. I think it looked real ominous for Port because we seen what he did the week prior. And literally he went and played on him, and I don't think Butters had maybe one or two touches on him in the last quarter and just played a real selfless role. And I've just noticed that a lot watching Carlton. He's one of those glue guys who, he'd be one of the first picked every week. So he's the guy that I given a bit of love to this round.
Like it. My guy was in that game too, as I said, and I'm not saying that not many people would know him, but he's shifted roles. He's normally a defender. He's now playing forward for the Blues, and it's Zach Williams. I feel like he's playing a very important role. He kicked 3 goals too on the weekend. But, just his ability to obviously finish, but also his smarts on the game. I feel like he's a very smart footballer and has got good skills, good run and carry. So he's been good for the Blues. I think they're obviously missing Jack Martin a fair bit in their forward line, so they've thrown him down there, and he's doing a great job. I feel like, he deserves a bit more credit than what he's getting at the moment.
I agree. I've always been a big fan of Zachy. I played with him at the Giants, and rated him extremely highly, and I felt like once Carlton got him, I mean, he had a great career at the Giants, played in the granny, and I think his 219 year was unbelievable, the year they actually made it. So he's, a valuable asset for Carlton, and as you said, to be able to change role, unreal. I like it, mate. The round itself, my favourite game of the round was the Gold Coast Essendon game, and it's just crazy because Gold Coast are now sitting 8th, and I don't know what their best position has been after round 12. Brado will know this at the end, but I feel like this has been their best position after round 12. I could be wrong, but I feel like it is, and I reckon they have every chance to play finals this year.
Yeah, I agree with the spot that they're sitting at the moment. It probably is their best, but in terms of win-loss,
that's
potentially. What I mean. Yeah, I feel like their game is it's a very honest game of footy that they play. Like they want to win the contest. They want to beat you up on the inside. They've got some good goal kickers, great defenders as well. So they're pretty well sorted across the ground. And they've got Dimmo, who's been one of the best coaches of the last, 10 years potentially, and controlling them. So it's great it's good to see. I love seeing it. Obviously, we're rivals, so I don't want to pump them up too much. But I watched their game on the weekend too, and it was very impressive against the Bombers.
They were good, and their midfield. We've touched on earlier in the year. Like I rate the main three, the core of Miller, Anderson, and Rao. I just feel like they complement each other so well, and they're a pretty scary midfield to come up against when you got to play against them. And I mean, you guys get them again later this year, don't you?
Yeah, we play them at their home deck, so that'll be a good game.
That'll be a beauty. But other than that, there wasn't really. I mean, Hawthorn. We spoke about Hawthorn being a lot better than what they are on the ladder, and right now they're still 12th. I guess I forget they lost their first 5. I think they were 0-5. But mate, they are one of the informed teams of the comp, and I actually love watching them play. They're one of the teams I love watching the most play, just because it's exciting. They're tough. You mentioned beat you up around the ball. They're a very good clearance team. I don't know numbers wise, but I'd imagine they're top 3 in clearance. They've got exciting forwards, guys like Jack Ginnivan, like these guys that bring flair. It's an exciting team to watch.
They are a very exciting team. Obviously faced them last week, and yeah, I saw something today saying if you're a player looking to move clubs, Hawthorn would be a very appealing option right now. So, yeah, definitely makes sense because of the way that they're playing, and obviously Sam Mitchell at the helm and flying too. So, one of the best informed teams of the comp. I did want to talk about the Eagles game. I want to talk about Harley Reid and the Rising Star. So, let's talk about this because we've actually had a conversation about this over the phone, and I actually mentioned it to a few of the boys at the club during the week. I didn't when I first came in, I didn't realize that how big a deal the Rising Star was. And I don't reckon anyone really talked about it. Whereas now, if you're in the running to win the Rise, it's actually quite a big deal. Do you feel that? Do you think that that's changed over your time?
Definitely. And I feel like even the announcement videos, you go watch the announcement of the player getting announced, surprise in front of the group. It means a lot to the player. And I feel like it is a big thing.
Do you reckon there's any reason for that? Is it something that, I don't know.
I just feel like the world that we're living in now, and I don't think this is selfish. I don't think this is a selfish thing, but the world that we're living in now, players, everyone loves talking about awards and stats and all this stuff.
Accolades.
We're just accolades. And it's not just in the AFL, mate. We take a lot from American sports. And, mate, how much do they put on Rookie of the Year on the pedestal? They put it on the pedestal that much. And I just feel like it's really come into our game, and I feel like it's a big thing. So I agree. It's a massive thing.
All right, here's another question. Do you think that if you get suspended that you should be out of the Rising Star race?
No, I don't. And I'm not just saying this, and I wholeheartedly mean this. I'm not just saying this because we're arguably going to see one of the best first-year players or the most hyped-up first-year player in Harley Reid. And for what it's worth, Sam Darcy as well, who, in my opinion, they're probably 1 and 2. Unfortunately, we're not going to see them win it. So I'm not just saying that for that reason. It's just this has just happened. That's why it's come up. So to answer your question, short ways, no, I don't. I feel like you should still be able to win it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's not like a best and fairest or Brownlow or whatever it is. It's a rising star. So it's genuinely the best young player in the game right now.
Yeah, because I think
within the criteria.
Yeah, I think the AFL Players Association Awards or Coach Association Awards, they still do best first year. You know how they do the best first year player? I think it's best young player maybe or something like that. And you're still eligible to win that. So, I understand it because it's, it's a part of the award. And back in 2012, my first year in the AFL, Daniel Talia, he beat Jeremy Cameron. But people forget the guy that would have won it, with all due respect to Daniel Talia, had an unbelievable season, but I think it was common knowledge that he probably would have won it. It was Toby Green. It was his first year in the AFL, and he was averaging 30 touches a game for a team that came last with 2 wins all year. And he got suspended, I think, in round 18 or 19. So, so it's not like it's the first time it's happened. And Daniel Talia, for what it's worth, was a very deserved winner that year. But, yeah, I feel like it probably shouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it should be a thing. What do you reckon?
Nah, I'm with you. Do you think because they challenged his 2-week ban as well. So do you think in the tackle do you think the tackle was worth 2 weeks? I'm probably not allowed to comment on it.
Probably not. But I think, I think as a player watching, no. I think it was clearly now with the rules and how it's adjudicated.
Want to protect.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's definitely, it's something that I know watching as a player that you can't do that. So it's unfortunate because, he's obviously having an incredible first season, but at the same time, I think it was Darcy Wilson who was getting tackled. We care about his well-being, and lucky nothing was seriously done. So it is an interesting one because it's been a topic of conversation here in Melbourne. So I think Mark Rasciuto came out and said they've changed the rule mid-year, which was the holding the ball rule. Why can't they just change the
rising star rule?
Yeah, rising star rule. But for what it's worth, who's your pick now? So Harley Reid's out and Sam Darcy's now out, and I think they were the 2 genuine favourites. So what are you thinking? Who's going to win it?
Oh, mate, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be fair.
I've got a couple. I'm hoping, and I feel like he's a genuine chance, Riley Sanders, obviously. He's building really nicely. But outside of Riley, I think Oliver Dempsey from Geelong, let me have a look at this game on the weekend. He kicked 3. There you go. He kicked 3 and had 27. Who's a chance to win it? I think Darcy Wilson at St Kilda. Darcy Wilson. He's had a great first season. And I think Colby McKercher as well at North Melbourne. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
I think that Jai Clark from Geelong is eligible too.
He's having a good year.
So he might be able to as well.
It is interesting.
Anything else, mate? Anything else from the weekend?
Nothing other than that, mate. I was going to bring up the Rising Star, so I'm glad you did. So we may as well move on to the round 13, is it? Yep, round 13. And we'll touch on our game at the end because we're on the Friday night. We'll get our tips in. Freo and Port Adelaide have a bye this week, so they're out. What day is it? Tuesday. So Thursday, we've got Adelaide v Richmond at Adelaide Oval. Who are you thinking?
I love seeing the Tigers playing better footy, but I think the Crows will be too good at Adelaide Oval.
Yes, I do too. And Dustin Martin's getting rested actually this game because he's playing his 300th the following week against Hawthorn, which I like because, he's, as we've touched on, mate, he's a generational player, that man. So he's not playing. So I think Adelaide will win. Obviously, our game Friday, Saturday, Arvo, 1:45, Hawthorn GWS. This is a great game in Tasmania.
Great game. I'm tipping the Hawks in Tassie.
Mate, I'm going to go to the Giants because I need to peg some tips back because I know you're in front of me. Definitely know you're in front.
Nah,
I'm gonna
I
go
don't reckon
Giants.
I'm not that far in front of you. I'm not that far
I
in front of
reckon
you.
you are. Well, I'm going to presume you are, so I'm going to go the Giants. Optus Stadium, West Coast versus North Melbourne.
Eagles.
I think Eagles as well. Yes, I'm going to go the Eagles. Marvel Stadium, St Kilda, Gold Coast, Saturday night. Big game.
I think. That's a good game.
It is.
I'm gonna tip the Saints.
Okay. See, I think the same. I'm going to go the Saints too. I think they'll build a lot of confidence off their win on the weekend and really get their season going. They played a tough brand of footy against the Eagles in the second half. And, yeah, really, really wore them down. So I think it's going to be a good game. Sunday, this is a ripper. Sydney versus Geelong. Wow, this is a ripping game at the SCG. First v third.
Sydney for me. Sydney.
They are hard to pick against, aren't they, Sydney Swans? I'm going to go Sydney as well. And I think they're going for what? 10 in a row, is it? No, not 10 in a row. Yeah, 10 in a row, I think, maybe. Something ridiculous, playing unbelievably well. Sunday night. Oh, yes, it's the King's birthday eve, Sunday night. So Essendon versus Carlton, MCG 7:20. Another ripping game.
I'm going with the Blues.
I knew you were. I'm going to go Essendon. I'm going to go Essendon. As I've said, I think they're the real deal, so I'm going to go Essendon. And King's birthday game, which I loved playing on this day, it's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. The Big Freeze game. So for those out there, make sure you get your beanies for the Big Freeze beanies. I don't know what edition it is. It might be the 13th or 14th edition, but it's an incredible
10th, I think.
cause.
10th. Big Freeze.
There you go.
Yep.
It's an incredible cause that Neil Danaher is clearly the face of, and he's done a tremendous job. And I heard some ridiculous stat today about how much money they've raised in all the 10 years. I think it's Brado's going to know. I don't want to undersell it. I reckon it's 8 million or something. It's something ridiculous, and it's incredible. And as I said, I've played in a few of these games, and I think outside of Anzac Day, it's the biggest game on the calendar. Clearly not counting the grand final as well. So, yeah, incredible day to be a part of. So very, very envious of both Collingwood and Melbourne, but should be a ripping game. I'm going to pick. They're both 9th and 10th, 28. This is hard because Melbourne got smashed and Collingwood. I'm going to go Collingwood.
I'm going to tip the D's if you're tipping Collingwood.
Okay, for brownie points. For extra, how many? 5? We said 5 early on in the year because there's a best on ground in this. There's the Neil Danaher Trophy.
Oh, is there?
Yes.
Yep.
Neil Danaher Trophy. So you give me yours.
Max Gorn.
Okay. Not bad. 5 points if you get it. Or 5 to the tipping ladder. I'm going to go. Oh, mate. You know what? I'm going to take the easy one and just go Nick Dacos.
I knew you
I'm going to, because let me think. You can't tag him because we tried to tag him and he was untaggable. Melbourne don't have a designated tagger, and he's at the moment playing footy where he's one of those guys where, like, you know, they talk about in the flow, like you're in the flow and everything just looks easy. Like even being against him, it just looked easy. So I'm just going to take the cop out one and take Nick Dacos. So hopefully one of us wins that so we can get 5 points on our tipping. I was about to say NFL fantasy there. That's where my head's at. I actually started listening to all my fantasy podcasts. What day is it? It is Tuesday. I started on Thursday last week, mate. So does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. I thought you would have been listening to them since the draft.
No. Go check your sleeper app, mate. I've sent you a couple of trades, so I need to keep building my team up. Our game, Friday night, blockbuster, Marvel Stadium, 7:40. Bulldogs versus Brisbane Lions, which it clearly isn't getting built up like it did last year, your first game against your old mob. But no doubt you'd be feeling a little bit nervous still, or are you not? Are you nervous?
No, I'm nervous. No, I think probably more just it is weird. It is weird to play against your old team and obviously yourself and guys that I know quite well. So not nervous, just, I'm kind of keen. I'm really keen to get down there and get stuck into it, because it's one that as soon as you know that it's happening, like for us, we've been 2 weeks away from playing you guys, but I've known that you're the next opponent. So it's one that you just want to sort of get in there and just, leave it out there.
Yes, I know. You reckon you'll get any boos from the crowd?
100%. I'll cop it for sure. I reckon it'll be, if not as bad as last year, it'll be worse.
Well, hopefully we're not hearing many of them, because that means you won't have the ball in your hand. But no, I don't reckon you will. Everyone there still loves you. They, as I said, mate, I sent you a photo the other day, last week, I think it was, of we've got our, you know how we've had the remake of Whitten Oval. Our facility's coming along nicely, and we've actually got the names on the locker now, and your name's smack bang there on 5. Josh Dunkley highlighted too, because I think they're the premiership players are highlighted, with the little medal being the premiership, and no, it's a cup and a medal, I think. So you're still loved at the Bulldogs, mate. I still love you there. I mean, I walk past the number 5 jumper and I'm like, yeah, there he was. There he was. But no, it'll be a good game. It'll be a great game. You said, obviously, you guys, we haven't done our opposition analysis yet. We don't tend to do that till later, but you've done a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah. We've done pretty much all of our oppo analysis on you boys. As I said, going really well in the last month or so, probably 5 weeks. Even the losses that you've had against the Swans and whatnot have been very impressive. So it's going to be a great test for us. The win-loss record from our point of view doesn't paint the picture right, probably for both teams. I feel like you guys are up there and flying, and feel like if we had have been a bit more damaging on the scoreboard, definitely could have been up there too. So for those that are thinking about going, make sure you get down and pack it out. It'd be great to have a massive crowd and cheer us on or boo me on. I'll be happy either way. It'd just be good to get a full house and hopefully have a cracking game of footy.
I probably know the answer, because I've been involved twice now from moving clubs. But do you have much of a say, like throughout the week, on players, or especially midfield individually? You know the midfield players real closely from us, that is, and how we like to set up and play centre bounce and whatnot. Do you have much of a say in that throughout the week?
Yeah, it's funny because everyone sort of comes to you for questions and like how you guys roll or whatever, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, how we could potentially manipulate what you do. Because, these days, like our opposition guy, like he does a great job. Like I barely even spoke to him before he presented his Oppo analysis meeting, and mate, he hit the nail on the head. He had even some of the terminology. So whether that's from last year or he's just heard it from someone else, things like that are all spot on. So teams are that good these days at scouting and seeing what the opposition does. I barely have had to say anything, but the individual stuff was interesting because today we had our mids meeting as a line, and I got asked, to talk about a few guys and yourself and others as well. So it's weird. It is so weird because I started reeling off nicknames and stuff, and the boys are like, hang on, mate. We don't know who that is. Like I'm talking about Chili and Nader and all these guys. They're like, who's Nader? Who's Chili?
What about for weaknesses, for what it's worth? When you brought up Adam Treloar, what'd you say?
Oh, I just said, let's just put him under pressure and make him defend. Nah, tell him shit.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Just getting his head, man. It is pretty weird, isn't it? Because obviously, when I played against Collingwood and then even the Giants the first time, you know the players so closely. And as I said, you've played with a lot of these players who are still playing now, so it must be so weird for you. But I am looking forward to it, mate. It's going to be great. I can't wait to run out there next year. I might give you a big hug before the game, as we used to always do, and then maybe a closed fist to the chest or something. Hopefully the umpires aren't looking, but I've got no doubt.
Last time you drove the knee into me subtly. That should have been given a free kick after that tackle that Libber, I think someone put on me, and then you jump in over the top trying to be tough, man.
Hey, I'm probably going to try it again too. So I've got no doubt we'll find ourselves on each other quite a bit at stoppage. So it's going to be quite funny. For people at the game, make sure you've got those cameras set up and filming us if we're playing on each other, because I'll try and do some funny stuff, because at the end of the day, we love each other and we love playing each other, but we're competitive at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to it.
What's going to happen if like one of us kicks a goal and the other person or something happens? Like,
I'd be
you're going to give it a bit, because last year, remember when you didn't kick the goal, but I think Jamara or someone tried to kick a goal and you've come beelining for me to try and hit me.
No, I come running straight, and I seen you in the corner. I seen you at the corner of my eye, and then I stepped away. So,
you stepped into me. You were trying to hit me.
Hey, mate, if we kick the goal on each other, like as in if I kick the goal on you, mate, I do not celebrate, or I'm never arrogant towards anyone, but I will be coming straight for you, 100%, 100%. If I kicked it on you.
You better believe that we'll be lining up on each other in our forward 50 stoppages.
Yeah, I know, because you'll be trying to kick the goal of me. And actually, for what it's worth, Brado will be able to find this. It's the 2019 Collingwood Bulldogs game at the MCG. You actually kicked the goal on me before we actually knew each other. So you genuinely kicked a one-on-one goal of me. So you're already one up. So I've got to make sure I peg that back. But yeah, looking forward to it, mate. Can't wait to get out there and belch you around the ears. Really, really excited.
Nah, same here. Are we going to catch up for dinner on Friday night or Thursday night?
100%, mate.
Where are we going?
Maybe get the fans to send some suggestions through and
all right. We'll get the fans to send them. Yeah.
And we'll do a signing session too whilst we're eating. No, we'll catch up, mate. 100%. Nothing changes whether we're playing against each other or not. When you're in Melbourne, we always see each other. So we'll do that. Actually, someone seen me today. I seen someone I was at Southland Shopping Centre, and she's a lady that player sponsors Harvey Gallagher, and she came up and we were just chatting, and then she goes, "Oh, Brisbane this week? You got Josh this week?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." She goes, "Oh, you're going to see him for dinner like you always do every time he's down?" I was like, "Yeah, nothing's going to change that." She goes, "Oh, really? I thought it would change because you're playing against each other." I was like, "Nah, nothing changes it other than I might put a bit of poison in his food or something so he can't play the next day." But no, I'm not going to do that. But no, it's
the last time
it's good.
Last time we went to our cafe, Lenny, remember we went there for brekkie last time.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think they're open for dinners, mate. So we're going to have to go somewhere else.
No, we'll find somewhere. We'll be right.
We'll get somewhere. But move on from the round, unless there's one other thing you want to say, but we can move on from that.
Nah, mate. Nothing at all.
We'll get into the Bloom of the Week. But before we do that, I want to ask you, did you watch our boy Lordship run on Monday?
This is crazy. It's all lining up for us this week, because I was literally about to ask you the same question. I had written down Lordship. Yes, I did watch the trial, and whatever they said to us prior to the race or the run.
Soft trial.
Just did that. So, but it was cool to see our horse out there.
It was, wasn't it? He's got the white stripe right down his nose there, so you can't miss it. But it was just so cool for me, who's never owned a horse, and I know you haven't as well. Well, been involved in a horse, it's so exciting watching him run. And as you said, it was a soft jump out. He told us he was going to run out last and finish last, which he did, but it was still that damn exciting watching it. So he's going to be racing soon, which you cannot wait, and I cannot wait. I'll be pumping this up on the potty. Hopefully, get some wins for us. And you also went to your ambassador, you and Tipsy, for the Saturday races.
Yeah, we went to the Derby Day up here in Brizzy, and yeah, it was a good day. Actually, I was texting Libber on Saturday because one of his horses won. Because there's him,
Just Folk.
There's a few of the Just Folk. Yeah, so my cousin Adam is in that too, and he sent me a message saying, "Can you go and get the cup for the boys and bring it back to Melbourne this week, because they want to put it in the Ascot Vale Hotel."
Oh, that's so good.
So I've worded up a few of the lovely ladies at the BRC, Brisbane Racing Club there, and because they were sort of not showing me around, like taking me around for the day. And I got in the winner's circle and got the picture with the boys' cup.
That is
So
elite.
that's me there.
So
yeah.
Where does the cup get sent down? What happens to the cup?
I don't know, because there wasn't many owners there. So Liver was just like, make sure you bring that cup back home.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's exciting. I know how much we've both really gotten into our horse racing. Are you going this Saturday? Because this Saturday is the last day, isn't it? The last big day?
Nah, next Saturday. So the Stradbroke is next Saturday. This Saturday there is races on here, but I don't think I'll be going because we travel back later, I think.
Mate, we need to do what I'm not sure if you watch SEN Track or listen to SEN Track. I watch it sometimes on socials, and they have Tags and Campbell Brown. They always, they watch all the races and they will say who they reckon wins, and they just watch the live race and reaction. Mate, we've got to one time film us doing it because for those a little insider into us too, when we're sitting down watching races and we're picking who's going to win, I'm the safe one. I'll always go, one of the favourites, one of the second favourites, because I'm a sucker for the favourites, where this bloke over here is looking through all the horses and, I like this one to be paying something like $51 or something and ends up running a really big race, runs a good race. Doesn't always win.
And
but,
you sit there and hate it too because I'm like picking something out of the rough.
I just shake my head. But for you freaking nail them all the time, which makes me laugh. But it's exciting. It's exciting. But we'll move on to the Bloom of the Week. Our favourite segment. Do you got one?
My Brookes Bloom of the Week is actually the Queensland Firebirds, mate.
Oh, love it.
They had a massive win on Sunday. Went down and watched, as I said earlier on in the potty. But I just thought it was one of the best defensive games I've seen from them, right? Yes. So I feel like they score really well week in, week out. Like and I'm going to get it up now because I'm on the topic, but they're points 4 in the comp, right? Mm-hmm. I've always looked at this. So they've got 492 points 4, which is better than 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. So it's top 4 in terms of scoring 4. But their goals against is where they get let down. So they're I think second worst in the comp. So that part of the game I feel like has been a work in progress for them. And this week against the reigning premiers in Adelaide, they played really well. So it was great to see the team defence on display, and they got a win, their second win for the year. So it was great.
I agree, mate. And obviously Kimmy's not playing at the moment. She's hurt her calf. So it's a big out for him. And I agree, mate. Watching, they were unbelievable. And they got a big game this week against the Giants, I think. They play the Giants, which is massive because Giants are, they're 8. Yes, 2 wins and we're 2 wins as well. Yeah. Yes, so massive. I like it, mate. Well done. Brownie points there. Tipsy will love that. My Brookes Bloom of the Week is Alex Demonar, the Demon.
Oh, I was going to do that too. I was going to do that.
See, I was going to do the Firebirds too, but then I thought Demonar. But anyway, again, Brado will know this, but I think it's the first time someone's reached quarters, an Australian, since Pat Rafter in maybe 2004 or something. So that's a long time, 20 years. He obviously beat Daniel Medvedev in the last round. So he's into the quarterfinal and he's playing Alexander Zverev, which is going to be massive. And we know, the Europeans are largely the best players on clay courts. So the fact that the Demon's there is exciting. It's exciting because I feel like when it comes to tennis, Australians, obviously Australian Open, everyone's all about it. Everyone's watching tennis every night. Everyone loves it. And then the rest of the Grand Slams throughout the year, the Wimbledon, the French Open and the US Open, no one really pays attention. And that's probably because we don't really have Australians, that go deep. Maybe we do here and there. But, I love the fact that Demonar is into the quarterfinal because Aussies start to watch it. And it's like, it's great to watch. So, he's my Brookes Bloom of the Week. I feel like he is a big chance to beat Zverev. So hopefully he does.
Fingers crossed. Go the Aussies. Righto. Are we on to our YouTube winners or have we got anything else to talk about?
No, mate. I feel like I can keep going. What time is it? 8:30. Oh, another hour. I'll probably speak for another hour if you let me just talk. So we probably should go to our YouTube winners.
All right. Well, I'm going to announce it because remember the question that we asked last week about the best stadium food. So,
Yes.
mate, we got some cracking answers, and these are the two. So I've got at Jammin Space, the most random but delicious stadium food I ate was Indian at the Adelaide Oval. I recently moved house, and there was a restaurant called Beyond India. That's my absolute favourite Indian restaurant in Adelaide. I saw the truck at Adelaide Oval by chance, so I got a little bit of a butter chicken and a cheese naan.
Oh, yeah.
It literally made me forget how much Carlton were losing by, and the fact that the hubby and I were being heckled by a 10-year-old the entire game.
Oh, that is great.
Oh, so there you go. That's one. And the next one is at Claire MV. Oh, the stadium food was my question. Thought of it after watching some vloggers going to Korea and watching baseball while they had legit Korean barbecue in the stadium.
Korean barbecue
Imagine
is
Korean
one of my
barbecue.
favorites. Oh,
I know.
gosh.
That's why I've done it. So there you go.
I need
There
to
are two
know.
winners.
I need to know. So who was that? Tell me who that was again. Who was that last one?
Claire MV.
I need Claire to send through her answer. I need to know, was it the self-cook Korean barbecue? So did you get to cook it yourself whilst you were watching, was it baseball, she say?
Yeah, she said she watched some vloggers going to Korea and watching baseball while they had legit Korean barbecue in the stadium.
Gosh, I need to know. That sounds unbelievable.
Because if that's the case, you need to go there.
I do. Don't worry about the baseball. I'll just keep the Korean barbecue. Yeah, happy to do that.
Oh, that's unreal. But there you go, the two winners. So what's our thing this week, mate? We should do something.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna do a prediction. Send through team that wins, and so right now they've got to hopefully when the episode comes out, which is on the Wednesday. They have to predict the score or predict the winner between us two, and closest to the margin wins the prize. What do you reckon?
Okay, sounds good to me.
Oh, what were you thinking?
No, I was just gonna. I don't know. I wasn't thinking anything. I was just thinking whatever. I don't really.
Well, you're the reader outerer, which makes absolute no sense, but you know what I mean. You're the one who reads out the answers, and I'm the one who comes up with the questions. So that is what it is. Oh, well, did you want to come up with something else? Who has more tackles or something? Have a guess who has more tackles between you and me?
Oh, probably me. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, why don't we add in who's going to kick a goal on the other person or something like that?
All right, do it. I actually read something
that
today.
we do. Yeah, go.
I read something today involving tackling. Right, I've seen it. It was 4 tackles or more. It has the all-time record and it's consecutive games. Sorry, so 4 tackles or more in consecutive games. It has the all-time record and it has the current players in the AFL record, and you're the number 1 player.
Am I?
Yeah, 20 games in a row, and I think second was 12, and I don't know who it was.
Oh, where was this stat?
I seen it. Someone sent it to me. It was on AFL tables. They sent it, and anyway, I'll try and find it for you. But it was along those lines. It was AFL. It was 4 consecutive games with 4 tackles, and you were the number 1
tackles.
Yeah, 4+ tackles. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So we won't do the who has more tackles because we already know that's going to be clearly me. But nah. Well, I guess it's a good segue to leave Brado into. Come on, Brado, jump on.
It's been a ripping episode, this one, so far.
It has. It actually has.
I've got a lot to chip in. The most fattening cocktails.
Here we go.
We were talking about the pina colada. That comes in as third, 644 calories.
Wow.
So I'll go 5 to 1. We got Mai Tai, 350 calories.
Yep.
White Russian, 425.
Ooh.
Then your pina colada.
We've had a few of those, Adzi.
Then the top 2, margarita. Bit of a surprise.
Oh, really? That's
740 calories.
Oh, wow.
And then no surprises if you think of alcohol content because it's got everything in it. Long Island iced tea, stacked it up, 780 calories. So steer clear of the Long Island iced tea.
Well, you better believe that we'll be having those if we go on a holiday, Adsy.
Fan perspective, I loved the holding the ball. That was amazing.
It
They
was.
adjudicated it well over the weekend outside the Nick Dacos tackle. And it was funny to see Nick spraying Howie as he was getting tackled to the ground for getting in the way.
That's how good he is.
We'll talk about Gold Coast Suns. They were 8th in round 16, 2014. And you might remember it was the game that Brent McCaffrey tagged Gary Ablett. And the tackle hurt Ablett's shoulder. He was done for the year, and so was the Gold Coast Suns. They fell off after that game. So they've got a while to go. They got to get to round 16. Big Freeze. Big shout out to the Big Freeze. Now, I could be getting this wrong, but I've kind of just added up everything on their website. So they've donated $85.3 million to M&D research, $8.4 million in equipment and at-need homes, $1.6 million in education. So all of that totaled up $95.4 million.
That's incredible.
So they're going to crack over the 100 million mark, you'd imagine, pretty easy this Monday. And de Minaur, no Australian has made it this far in the French Open since Leighton Hewitt in 2004, and he's got the chance to match Pat Rafter's semi-final effort from 27 years ago.
Can't the Demon.
And that's all I got for you.
What about the tips, Brado?
Yes.
That is a very good one because I always forget the tips. And Ads thinks that he's way behind. Well, he's only one tip behind. So then this weekend going into it, you've got 4 different plus a potential bonus with Dacos and Gorney. So it's going to be interesting going.
Go the Pies. Weekend. Go the Pies. Go Dakes. The Pies and Dakes. Thanks, Brado. Joshy, here, I found it. Ready? You'll be able to see this.
Oh, geez. No, I can't.
Anyway, the thing here, so I'll send it to you. It's consecutive matches with 4 tackles. And someone sent it to me. And the record is Matt Prittis, 43 games of 4 tackles or more. And it has the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's about top 15 all time. And on the right side, it has the current, consecutive streaks. And you're one, mate. You are 20 games in a row of 4 tackles. And second is James Rowbottom with 12 games in a row of 4 tackles. So you need another 23 games of getting 4 tackles or more to beat Matthew Prittis. So good luck to that, mate.
Thanks. What a stat. I'm sure a lot of people out there would be looking at that stat. But
hey, it got sent to me. So clearly people are looking at that stat.
Well, that's a good segue into wrapping it up, I reckon, Adsy. Look forward to seeing you on Friday or Thursday night. Obviously a big week for both of us and, can't wait to get stuck into it. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in, as always. We love the support that we get, and thanks to Brooke, our beautiful sponsor, and, we'll see you all next week.
Ciao, mate. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brookes Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brookes Blooms' 3-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.